love-based sales. Changed the game for me. So now I'm no agency, my social media management agency, and I closed it down. I had 8 employees. We're building rapport, we're getting to know each other. And I do the exact same thing on Instagram, not making any money to making six figures, multi six figures in their business.
Hello. Hi, Sienna. How you doing today?
I am great, Spencer. I'm so excited to be here. Thank you for having me.
Of course. We're happy to have you. So, for
Yeah.
those of you that don't know, Sienna's a genius here. She has her own community of people on Instagram. She brings women together, women in sales. She's a business consultant, and I'm excited to have her on the podcast. So, Sienna,
Thank you.
if someone's watching right now, they don't know who I am, they don't know who you are, why should they stay around and watch?
Yeah, I have years, over 8 years of experience running my own social media marketing agency, being even in corporate as a social media manager. And now I teach business owners how to really increase their sales and make more money. And so if you are a business owner or someone who wants to really understand how to market themselves, market their businesses, market other businesses. I think this is going to be a great episode with Spencer and I to talk about all things marketing and how you can really make some movement happen.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So, Sienna, I always hear sales, marketing, they kind of go together. What
Yeah.
to you, what's the difference between sales and marketing?
Sales is money. And marketing is just putting your business in front of the right people. But I say they go hand in hand, right? Like you cannot have sales unless you're marketing. And I'm sure you obviously know that too, Spencer. But I think it really is going to go down into, and what I believe is meaning that in the beginning, where we start our process in that marketing phase, that we are really getting to know the people in our world. We are really taking time to nurture our audience through our content, through conversations that we're having with them in DMs, depending on obviously the platform. It may not be called that, but really just nurturing people, and not with the intent even to sell, but with the intent to get to know people for people. And in return, you're going to see sales happen and you're going to see that money move. And to me, that is the best thing that you could do in your business.
Yeah, building relationships,
Yes,
helping
for
people.
sure.
Yeah, awesome.
Exactly.
So, is that what made you want to get into sales? Or
Yeah, I think
what
for
made you want to
me,
get into sales?
yeah, I love sales. I had my agency, my social media management agency, and I closed it down. I had 8 employees under me. We had a lot of clients, and I just was at a place where I was realizing there's a huge gap here. A lot of people can post pretty pictures on Instagram or Facebook or even LinkedIn, but they don't know how to make that transition into revenue. And so, what I was noticing as a gap for my clients is that they're coming to me to solve this revenue problem, and they're hiring me only for marketing. And so then I'm not able to truly solve that revenue problem because there's a whole nother gap that's missing. And as I started diving deeper and deeper into content creation and understanding what's going to move the needle for businesses, I started to realize this is the gap. This is how we fill that gap. This is how we put more money in your pockets to create a return on investment. And I realized I love teaching that. I did not love the management aspect of social media because it's tedious and it's a lot. And I'm also a stay-at-home mom, and so like my life is my life is busy. So I'm like, okay, I can't do it all anymore. My son is only 2, so it's relatively new balance for me here.
Yeah.
But I would say that really pushed me into sales consulting, and now seeing that revenue growth, seeing my clients like going from not making any money to making six figures, multi six figures in their business. That's a huge win. Like that's amazing.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Service to the people.
Right? Exactly.
And yeah, I saw that that was very unique about you. I saw when I was going through your Instagram, it doesn't take 24/7, you know. You don't have to be on it all day.
Yeah.
You're
You
about
don't.
you're about balancing. Yep.
Exactly. You really have to have a balance. I think on average, I work about 3 hours a day. And it's just
Nice.
because, yeah, I've figured out what is my revenue based activities. And so if someone's listening to this and like, okay, well, I have no idea what that is, I would say start with your last five clients. Like if you're B2B, start with your last five clients. Where did they come from? How did they get into your doors, right? And then really do some data tracking. So for me, if I looked back at my last five clients, I would know that all five of them came to me from Instagram. Now, how they came to me is a little bit different, obviously, for each person, but relatively speaking, one of them decided to sign on to my offers because she saw my Instagram post. And I only know that because I put keywords in my post that say, like, DM me this particular word and then I'll reach out to you, right? And so I can track who's DMing me what word.
Yeah.
And is this working? Am I getting conversations in the DMs from this? And I think that really helps. You really need something in place for you to track where your sales are coming from. And so I knew for her specifically, she came to me because of a specific type of content that I made. And so I realized, okay, this content is obviously working. Even if I only get one person, one sale from it a month, it works.
Yeah.
And I'm going to repeat that, not maybe not the exact same words, but content that looks similar, that feels similar, that talks about the same topic. And so that is a revenue generating in like activity for me is creating content based off of what has already worked. And then another way I get sales is on my Instagram stories. Now, I personally have recently made a switch in the last couple of weeks from primarily focusing on Instagram to really focusing on LinkedIn because it's a little bit less work for me. But I will say, like, my last five clients, out of them, four of them have come through my stories. And then I was able to track which one of my stories they're coming from because I put certain things in my stories to see who's going to click on this, right? Like I might put a poll. I talk about my offer every day. You should be talking about your offer. If you're marketing your business on Instagram, talk about your offer, give people a way to opt in. And I put a poll on my stories that say, are you interested in this? Or would you like me to reach out? Yes or no? And if someone clicks yes, I know obviously how they got to
Yeah.
me.
Something
And
about
now we're
something
having,
about that. Are you
yeah,
so I've heard before, like, and I've also felt it myself. If you see someone always posting their offer, it's kind of repelling. How do you find the balance between making sure
yeah.
people know your offer and not overdoing it?
Think you have to really talk about the transformation. I do not believe that you can overdo it in a sense unless you were just like, this is my offer, here's how to opt in. At that point, people are going to get sick of you, they're going to get tired of you. It's not about you. Sales is about them, marketing is about them, right? And so if you were saying, like for me, I'm a sales coach, I help people make more money, right? So for me, I would put something along the lines of, you are struggling to pay your bills, you're living paycheck to paycheck, this is how much you have left. I'm like super specific, like this is how much you have left over each month, and you're feeling X, Y, and Z. And because you're feeling this, I get it, I was there too, here's my story, and I share all of this in my stories, differently every day, but a variation of this. And then I say, if you're feeling this, this is where I've been, this is how I've been able to overcome it. And now I want to help you overcome it. If you want X, Y, and Z results, not just for their business, but also for like, if this impacts their personal life, if you are making more sales in your business, then obviously that means that you're taking home more money into your pockets. You're paying bills, but you have more left over. And now you can do other things like roller skate or go get Starbucks coffee, right? Like
Yeah.
basic things most
Go
people
learn
take
how to
for granted.
skateboard.
Right. You can do so many things, like, get into it's summer. So like a lot of people want to go to water parks, but they can't afford it. This is a great way for me to talk about like, hey, you want to go to this water park that I like, maybe I just visited this water park. You want to go to this water park? This is how we're going to do it. This is how we're
Yeah.
going to get you in the doors for that water park. And as long as you're focused on the transformation, you can post that every single day and nobody would get tired of it because the focus isn't on you and your business and you making money, but rather on really helping them make sales.
So connecting with them and where they're at right now
Yeah.
and relating to them. I used to be there. This is what I do.
Exactly.
A variation of that every day.
Every day. And I write out my stories before I post them. Typically, again, I haven't been on Instagram fully in a couple of weeks because I've been trying out LinkedIn for myself. But yes, I mean, that's what works for my clients. It's what's worked very well for me. And I recommend it.
So, this is a question that I've gotten before. Like, what do you do when a client comes to you and they're just immediately concerned with the price?
Mm,
They're like, how
I
much?
think
How
if
much does
someone,
it cost? But like you don't even know their situation or anything. Like,
yeah, I believe in love-based sales, which means that I'm upfront about my pricing before someone even messages me, before someone even inquires with me. I just believe that being transparent is important.
mhm,
Every business owner has their own belief system and their own core policy for themselves. I am extremely transparent because I believe that truth should always stand everywhere, regardless of what's going on. I don't believe in sleazy sales tactics. I'm not going to get you onto a sales call to make you feel good about yourself and say that I can help you overcome this, but you still don't know the price point. And now I'm trying to showcase my value, all
mhm.
of these things. I've seen so many different business owners do this differently, but I would really say if you care about other people, you should be upfront about your prices. I personally no longer buy from people who make me hop on a sales call before I know their price. Because at the end of the day, all you're doing is wasting your time as the business owner and you're wasting your potential ideal client's time because if they really cannot afford it, and some people truly just can't afford it, there's no overcoming objections, there's none of that that's going on. It's really just they don't have the money and like
Mhm.
life is hard. I don't know if most people know how much milk costs these days, but like milk is like $4 a gallon where I live. So I mean, like most people don't have the any. Maybe I'm just looking at milk because I'm a mom, but most people don't have that disposable income like they used to.
Yeah.
And so I'm upfront with my prices. I share it on all my stories. I share it in my content. You will know my prices before you ever hop on a call with me. And I also don't even take discovery calls unless you are someone who I've never met before.
Mhm.
But I just feel like be honest, be upfront, be transparent. It doesn't kill you. It actually allows qualified leads to come in the doors. And so you're not wasting your time.
I
Yeah.
can agree with that a lot.
Yeah.
I was just recently on a sales call and I asked about price and he just went away from the question without answering it. And I was like, dude, come on. How
Yeah.
do you expect me to move forward here?
Right, exactly. You
Yeah.
have to know so you can make an informed decision.
And that's it. You don't see many people posting their prices, like especially on social media. I
That's
don't see
true.
that at all really. So
I haven't I
so
haven't seen a lot of people do that, but it's something that I've been telling my clients to do.
yeah.
And I will say, not even just talking about myself, but speaking from a client's perspective, my clients are getting more qualified leads and they're having
Mhm.
discovery calls where people are saying yes on the call more than they were before when they were hiding their prices because people who
Definitely.
are booking the calls know their prices. So it's not a shock to them.
Yeah.
So I would say try it. Like if you're on the fence about it, try it, see if it works for you. But honestly, honesty is the best policy, in my opinion.
Policy. Oh yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, about qualifying your leads, that's super important. So you've
Yeah,
mentioned showing your prices. Is there any other, or you also said
yeah,
meeting them where they're at, like certain, pointing out certain situations that people could be in. Is there anything
right.
else that's powerful for you for qualifying leads,
I
qualifying
think in
prospects?
order to Yeah, no, just to answer your question, I think in order to personally qualify your leads, you should have some kind of form or discovery process
Hmm.
because someone can come to you and I see this and I know people need money, but we shouldn't rush just to take on a sale just because we need money. It's just not my principal core.
Yeah,
And so like it's really about can we serve this person, right? And how can we be an example to this person? How can we pour into this person? I will never take on a client that I cannot actually help. I'm
Mm,
not going to do it. It's a waste of their time. It's a waste of their money. And I don't care if I was like negative in my bank account, my values still remain. I'm not taking on a client that just I can't serve. So I would say, really, you need to understand who you are capable of serving. And then when someone says, hey, I'm interested in working with you, you should have a series of questions that you ask them in order to determine if they actually are a good fit for your program, your offer, or your
mhm,
service. And if they're not, let's be ethical and refer them to somebody else. Like I have a list of other people who do exactly what I do. And I don't believe in competition because the truth is that there's enough money to go around.
mhm,
And so I might be a wonderful sales coach, but if maybe you're at a stage of your business that I'm not equipped to handle, I'm going to refer you to some people that I really trust who I know are going to be a really great fit for you. It's just not me. And I think that that's also okay. And we should normalize giving sales away to other people and not just taking on sales that are just not the right fit for us. And it could not even be that maybe you're not equipped to handle them. Maybe they have a different value principle than you. Maybe like you get on a call with someone and they're talking about something that just completely bothers you to your core and
mhm,
it's just not for you, right? I talk about this a lot because I'm a Christian. I talk about my belief system on social media. I don't force it down anyone's throat. It's not something that like my clients have to believe in my faith, but it is something that I stick to. And that's where a lot of my principles for business come from. And if somebody comes onto a call with me and they're saying, like, hey, I'm a witch and I do X, Y, and Z, that's not my person, but I know somebody who is your person and I'm going to refer you to them.
yeah.
So, like, just things like that.
Mhm.
Yeah.
You're very knowledgeable.
Thank you.
Yeah.
To
Is there any books or anything that have greatly helped you?
be honest with you, and I don't know how this is going to sound,
Mhm,
but my biggest resource for my business has been the Bible.
mhm,
And I think again that goes with my faith, but and maybe other people may discredit that and that's okay. It's not for everybody, but I do think there are so many awesome principles in there that has really guided how I do. Hold on. My son is crying. My husband is dragging him away as we speak. Sorry.
No worries.
Okay, I'll take a pause so you can edit this out.
Yeah.
Yeah, I so for me it really is the Bible. And again, like most people they're going to agree with that, they're not going to agree with that, but there are so many business lessons to be learned through that book. And it's so intense when you start to sit down and you're reading it. And I think a lot of people are like, oh, it's just old stories. Um, no, I think, but that's my personal core belief. That
Mhm,
has been what has helped me be able to identify how can I make sales for my clients? How can I bridge that gap in their marketing? To be honest, I really studied Jesus's felt like how he went out, how he connected with people, right? Like he had 12 followers that followed him everywhere. He poured
yeah.
into those 12 people. And as a result, whether you believe in Jesus or you don't believe in Jesus, we can all look at him from a business perspective.
Mhm,
If you look at it today, over 2000 something years later, he has millions of people who believe in him and who follow him. And so that could correlate to business in a lot of different ways. Um, so that has been my driving force, and maybe like my brain just works in a different way. And like I just take these stories and I like go, wow, I could take this and put this into a business perspective.
yeah.
But it has been so helpful. And then of course, just trial and error has really taught me everything that I need to know to really service my clients. So it's been a journey, but it's been a really, really good one. And all of my clients are super successful. And that's all that I care about.
Yeah. When you put the Bible like that, it sounds like Jesus was probably the greatest salesman ever, huh?
Yeah,
His message
exactly.
still
And
going around today.
it's
Yeah.
still exactly. His
Yeah.
business is very popular.
Very popular. He's booming.
Yeah.
I
I love
appre
it.
to shift gears a little bit, so you said
Yes.
now you're mainly focusing on LinkedIn. Uh,
Yeah.
what what's the difference between the content you post on Instagram and LinkedIn? Do
Yeah, to be honest,
you have a
there
different
is no
strategy?
there's no difference for me. I've been taking my Instagram content and posting it on LinkedIn, but what really is working is LinkedIn. Most people are so busy that they do not want to talk to you.
Yeah.
And I like that. I like that because not that I don't want to talk to people, first of all, I love people. I'm happy to connect with people. But I spent the past 5 years pouring into Instagram and it has worked significantly well for me. Um, but I will say it's exhausting, and especially now that I have a baby and I am a stay-at-home mom, I cannot give it the same type of attention that I used to.
Mhm.
And so with LinkedIn, it has been very beneficial. I go on there every day. I make about 10 connections every single day. And then once I make those connections, I make sure, obviously, I curate my list. This is something I teach and I really fully stand by. If you're listening to this podcast, I hope you have a business of some sort, but you should be curating your followers, your connections. A lot of people, what I see that they do wrong is, and this is a good thing because correction is always a great thing. But what I see a lot of people do wrong is they will add people who do the same things as them on their social media. They will add their friends and their families and this guy from church and that guy from the grocery store onto their social media. But, and while yes, random people that you meet in the everyday world could be your client, if you are B2B, they should already have, obviously, a business established. You should already know what it is that they do from their account. And if you can't tell, that's not somebody that needs to be following you. And I know that may be opposite of what a lot of people hear, but I just believe in curating your list, going on LinkedIn or on Instagram and being intentional. When I went on LinkedIn, because I've had my LinkedIn for years, I actually decided I was going to start over, and I deleted every person following me who is not today my ideal client. And then I went in and I said, I'm going to add 10 people a day who are my ideal clients, right? I work with primarily female service based entrepreneurs. I have some male clients, but I typically work with women. And so search for female service based B2B entrepreneurs, and I connect with them and I add them to my list. And then that's it. And now we're building rapport. We're getting to know each other. And I do the exact same thing on Instagram. And by eliminating people who are never going to buy from me in the first place, I have allowed myself to make more sales because all the people in my audience are my ideal clients and
Mhm.
only my ideal clients. And so that is extremely beneficial. It would be the first thing that I would say. But in reference to strategy for LinkedIn, it would be curate your list, number one, connect with a minimum of 10 people a day. Some of my clients are doing 30 people a day. It really just depends on how aggressive you want to be with your goals. And when you connect with them, just send them a message about them. That's it. My specific strategy is I send a message and I say, hey, thanks so, or I would love to connect with you or add you to my network, something like that. Once they accept, I'm sending another message immediately and it says, hey, first name, whatever their first name is, thank you so much for connecting with me. I am really pumped and excited to get to know you and to see your content and to see how you show up in this space. By the way, and then I ask a question, like depending on the day of the week. Today is Wednesday, I think, right?
Mhm.
So like today I'll say, how is your week going? On a Monday, I would say like, how was your weekend?
Mhm.
On a Tuesday, I might say like, do you have any plans for this week or something along those lines, right?
Absolutely.
I ask a question and then I invite them to my networking calls because I host a free networking call every Thursday for business owners. And I'm like, hey, do you want to, by any chance, if you're interested, I would love to invite you and send you the link so you can hop on my networking call. And that has changed the game for me. So now I'm no longer having thousands of one-on-one conversations with people. They're all popping into my Thursday networking call. I'm getting to know them on the call. They're seeing me every Thursday. They know who I am. I know who they are. We're building relationships, and now they're buying from me. And so that has been my biggest strategy and has helped me take the focus off of social media, but also still a little bit of the focus on, because it drives people into my networking calls.
Awesome.
Yeah.
We'll make sure to link that in the bio for anyone who's
Cool.
interested
Yeah.
in the networking call.
Yeah.
So, how do you find these 10 connections a day on LinkedIn specifically? Like how do you know, okay, this is someone who might want to work with me?
Yeah. So I went on ChatGPT and I typed in my ideal client, the type of person that I want to work with. And I always, this might sound silly, but I always say, "Hey, ChatGPT." I always like say hi to it
Treat
because
it like a
I don't
person.
want like, well, I don't want robots to take over the world one
Uh,
day and they're like,
yeah. Or at
I'm
least, and
screwed.
if they do, they'll be nice to you or a little nicer.
Yes,
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's
they'll be
valid.
super nice. I love it. Yeah, they'll be so nice to me. I also always say thank you. I don't know if you do that. I even do that to Alexa. I'll be like, "Alexa, tell me the weather."
Thank you.
"Thank you, Alexa."
Oh, I should get on that
No.
train. I don't know if they'll be nice to me.
Well, you should say thank you, please and thank you.
I would. I would.
Yes.
No.
But yeah, in reference to how I like do this, so I went on ChatGPT. I just said, "Hey, ChatGPT, I am a sales coach for female service providers.
Mhm.
This is exactly like their age range. This is like if they have kids or don't have, like I put in all that information. And then I say, could you please provide me with a list of different types of B2B service providers that I can search for on LinkedIn? And so then it gave me like, I think I have like 20 or 30 different types of service providers. So like copywriters, social media managers, graphic designers, like so like a huge list.
Yeah.
And I take that, like their job title, I take that and I put that into LinkedIn, and then I allow LinkedIn to just generate just in the search. I don't even pay for Sales Navigator.
No.
I just put it straight in the search and I say, freelance copywriter, freelance social media, because those are my ideal clients.
Yeah.
And then it just pops up a list. And then I send the connect button, and I always make sure to send a note because it says, "Do you want to send a note with this connection?"
Mhm.
And my note is just, "Hey, first name, I would love to add you to my network." Super simple. The obviously, "Hey, first name," I'm typing out, but then, "I would love to add you to my network." That piece is copy paste, copy paste, copy paste.
Mhm.
I make it go by so easy, so fast, so seamless. But I would like to add them to my network because I actually want to connect with them.
Yeah.
And yeah.
Thanks for sharing. That's super valuable information right there.
Yeah, of course. I hope it
So,
helps somebody.
yeah. Do you think that LinkedIn is applicable for all businesses or more service providers, or would you recommend using LinkedIn to every business?
Not B2C. I wouldn't
Not
use LinkedIn
B2C.
for B2C. Yeah. If you are business to business, 1000%. For my business to consumer, I highly recommend video-based content. I mean, you can use video-based content for anywhere, really. Even LinkedIn, I post my reels that I post on TikTok and Instagram on LinkedIn, and it works.
Hmm.
But I will say, to be honest with you, for my B2C, you can implement a similar strategy, but focus more on TikTok, focus more on Instagram Reels or Facebook Reels, on platforms that are really going to push your video based content
Hmm.
out. YouTube Shorts is another one for my B2C business owners. Whatever is going to push your brand out there to the most amount of people, that's where I would be. And that's what I would be focused on.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I've worked with a business before, and they have a super, super small niche. They sell refined woods and fine hardwoods.
Mm.
How for a business that they wouldn't like that there's not a lot of obvious content to make for, how would you recommend a content creation strategy for a business like that?
Mhm. Sometimes that's really, really tricky.
Yeah.
I actually just worked on a content creation strategy for a roofer.
Uh-huh.
Super boring business, right?
Yeah.
There's lots of boring businesses. What I would say is you want to make it fun, you want to make it personable, you want to make it about them. I don't know much about wood. To be honest, to give
Yeah.
you like a good strategy. But what I would say is, really showcase making whatever it is that they're making out of it. I would also showcase if they are specifically local, I would showcase really what are their lives like in the local market, right? So local people can come and take advantage of it. I would showcase customer reviews from a different perspective. So maybe doing B-roll of them working and then having like things that their customer says or telling a story, taking us through a journey of where was their customer, where is their customer now, rather than just like posting the review. Because let's be honest, nobody cares about like people care about reviews, but they really care about the transformation more. And that's what's going to drive in sales. So your content strategy should match and be equivalent to your sales strategy. A lot of people discredit social media, but social media does make sales if you're doing it properly. And so I would really just make it as fun as possible. Lots of transitions, lots of, jumping into the frame, walking through the frame from one end to the other end, um, doing things that are a little bit different that really show the personality of the business, and the person behind the business.
Awesome.
Yeah.
That's super valuable. Thank you.
Yeah, of course.
Okay, so it looks like we're wrapping up. Is there anything you're looking forward to this weekend?
This weekend. That's a great question. Maybe going to the beach. I love the beach. It's
Beach?
summer
Where do you live?
and I am in Virginia.
We're in Virginia. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm in
And
Colorado.
so I'm originally from Florida and I
Okay.
miss the water so
Do
much
you?
from Florida. But my husband is active duty. So we are a military family and we're stationed here in Virginia. And it's one of those life things, but the beach is definitely something I'm looking forward to.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much, Sienna. It's been great talking with you.
Thank you, Spencer.
Look forward to maybe connecting with you in the future. You gave me a lot of valuable insights, and I hope the people at home feel the same way.
Awesome. Thank you.